So today I've got a box from EC Technology. We're going to go ahead and open this up, take a look at the contents on the inside. And it looks like we've got a wireless Qi charging base and an infrared thermometer. So interesting combination there, but we'll check these out. And there are small bits of debris or something falling out of this thing. It looks like cardboard. Anyways, let's start with the wireless charging base. This is one of my favorites. I love wireless charging. It's very annoying when I have to plug my phone in. I know it doesn't sound like a lot of work, but I just have gotten so spoiled by being able to set my phone down when I want to charge it. It makes life so much easier, especially having the magnetic one in my car. Anyway, so take a, wow, that is super, super shiny. This thing has literally got like the surface of a mirror, and then the other material that's made out of is kind of like a brushed metal, I think is what you'd call that surface. And inside the package here, we've got our charging cable and some instructions that I probably will not read until after. That's a pretty thick instruction book. Oh, it looks like it's in different languages, so we'll come back to that later. First, I just want to kind of take a look at this. They're fairly self-explanatory. You just plug them in, set the phone on top, and start charging. So let's check it out. All right, let's go ahead and take, there's a plastic thing on here, and I don't know if working with this reflective surface is going to be challenging. But I'm going to go ahead and peel the plastic off, and you can see this thing is super, whoa, super shiny, very reflective. So I'm going to have to find a different way to show you how this thing works, because the light is just going to really be an issue. Well, if you want something that kind of has a bit of a bling to it, this is the way to go. It's great for wireless charging. And if you're saying, well, I have an iPhone, so I can't charge wirelessly, not to worry. All you have to do is get one of these put-to-go adapters, pop it on your phone, and you can easily charge your phone without plugging it in wherever you go. Also, with the iPhone, here's a suggestion for Apple. You know, in order to make this thing wireless, you really only need to add this very small piece, which is a receiving coil on the inside. So my thought would be this: why not just make the Apple a little bit bigger, and then you can make it out of a different material that this would transmit through? Because the big problem is having a metal back on the housing, and we know that that is a good thing because you have the strength of the metal, but it's bad because you can't get the wireless charging NFC to work through this. So that would be my solution. Anyways, Apple's never going to listen to me. So let's get back to this little charger right here. So the thing about this is that, and it's going to be hard to see under this light, so I'll show you another clip that I made earlier. When you plug this thing in, it's going to cause the logo to start pulsating. So there's a light ring that goes around the outside, and I think this will make it easy to find at night if you don't know where it is. And of course, as soon as you put the phone onto the base, it turns off the logo and prevents it from pulsating basically, but it turns on this little green LED light at the bottom, which can be cool if you want to use it as a nightlight. It all kind of depends on where you put it. My thing is that if you have this right next to your face, this little, any kind of LED lights basically that you can see through your eyelids at night actually can disrupt your sleep pattern. So I don't recommend that everyone put their charging base right by their head on the bed. But again, you can actually use this little green light kind of to find your way around if you need to. And that's one of the things that kind of drove me nuts about this thing. It works great, but when you plug this thing in at night, it lights up the entire room. Let me just plug this in real fast. So I know this doesn't look like much here, but at night, this little light lights up everything. So with the green light being down here and just kind of pointing one direction instead of straight up in the air, you could direct it kind of, you know, wherever you want it to go in the room, or just cover it up, you know, put it up against something. So that works out pretty well. You are going to get some fingerprints on here, obviously, because it is a very clean mirrored surface. So that's going to be one thing that you are going to notice. Not a big deal, obviously. We're not taking this out around town or anything. But also, I would assume this is going to be fragile because it does feel like this is a piece of glass. So you don't want to drop this for sure. I think there's a good chance that would shatter if you did. So make sure you don't drop this off the side of your table at night. And also, it does support quick charging. The catch to that, of course, is you must use the recommended cable and the recommended charging block. Okay, so a couple things to know about this. One, it requires a 5-volt 2-amp input, so make sure that your charging block meets those specifications. It's very rare, but it is potentially a hazard if you mismatch what your what the manufacturer's rating is in your actual charging block. If something malfunctions, it can lead to overheating, and that's bad news, especially if you're sleeping at the time. So make sure you get the right charging block for that. And I would recommend you use the cable that came with the charger, because I've tried a different combination of various cables that I have, and the one that comes in the box is the one that works consistently the best, as long as you have the 2 amp charger. Also, there are a couple warnings here that I was not aware these were even issues. If you have a pacemaker, check with your doctor before you use wireless chargers, and always stay at least 22 centimeters away from the charging base. That makes sense. I know that people with pacemakers can't go near microwaves, so any type of radiation obviously can be a potential hazard. Also, they recommend that you keep rewritable media away from the charging base. I've never had this be an issue before, but if you were to set a USB drive or maybe a flash card or something right on top of this base, it might erase some of your data, so definitely want to avoid that. Overall, though, this is pretty cool. It's a nice gift, I think, for anyone who likes blingy looking stuff, and it's definitely functional, gets the job done, low profile, and much smaller, for example, than these big old things right here. You do have to place the phone on it correctly, otherwise it won't charge. But other than that, I would definitely recommend this if you're looking for a wireless charging base. Just throw that on there and you're good to go.